Yamaha tantalized the American dirt bike press with the unveiling of its all-new, electric start, Wi-Fi-equipped 2018 Yamaha YZ450F about a month ago, and we haven't stopped drooling over the photos and technical specifications of the bike since then. So, when Yamaha offered us the chance to sample the YZ for ourselves to see if we thought it had a chance at regaining the top spot in the 450 cubic centimeters motocross class, we jumped at the chance, which came on an oven-like day at the world-famous Glen Helen Raceway in Southern California. The 2018 Yamaha YZ450F is new, but two changes really take center stage. The first is that the bike now features electric start as a standard item, like KTM, Husqvarna, and now Honda. The YZ does away with the Kickstarter altogether. However, if you read our preview of the 2018 YZ450F, you already know that its electric starting system is completely different than the one used on Yamaha's successful WR and FX off-road models. A tiny, 1.5 pounds, 2.4Ah/13.2 volt lithium-ion battery powers the starter, which is mounted behind a reverse inclined cylinder that is positioned to 2 degrees more upright in the chassis than previous YZ450Fs. The second is Yamaha's industry-first wireless tuning app for dirt bikes, the Yamaha Power Tuner iOS and Android app, which we'll talk about later. Needing a test rider who was up to the task of manhandling the new YZ450F at Glen Helen, we invited SoCal-based pro motocrosser and Baja veteran Nick Garvin to give us his impressions. Garvin has spent a lot of time racing a 2017 Yamaha YZ450F in local motocross and GP events over the past several months, and he also participated in our 2017 450 cubic centimeters motocross shootout, giving him an excellent frame of reference. Here's what we found out about the new Yamaha. The YZ450F has never been one of the hardest starting bikes in the class, but we sure as hell don't miss the Kickstarter anyway. Just the push of a handlebar-mounted button is all it takes to bring the new YZ to life. If anything, it starts even more readily than some of the bikes that beat it to the punch with electric start. Warm-up time through the YZ's all-new Mikuni 44mm throttle body is also minimal. The new throttle body's cold start button has a nifty feature in that it only needs to be pushed in by hand but not pulled back out in by hand. Activating the cold start opens the throttle to a détente position, and cancelling the cold start is a simple matter of blipping the throttle. Once out on the deep, wet Glen Helen track, the first thing that Garvin noticed is that, while the 2018 model still feels as if it is one of the most powerful in the class, it doesn't hit as hard off the bottom as the 2017 model did, exactly what Yamaha engineers were after when redesigning the YZ's reverse incline engine, which features a lot of new tricks, such as an F1-style bridged box piston that shaves 6 grams of reciprocating weight and also contributes to a compression ratio increase to 12.8:1, up from 12.5:1. Helping to ensure a more complete burn of the fuel charge is a new spark plug with a longer electrode. A new ignition coil and an ECU with revised settings also help shape the power the way Yamaha engineers intended, to be more controllable down low and stronger on top. You can read about all that and more in our 2018 Yamaha YZ450F preview. Throttle response is still as crisp as before, and the YZ's low-end power is stout. But it's definitely more tractable. The bottom to mid-range transition is also much smoother than before, and top-end overrev is stronger than the 2017, something that was readily apparent on the horsepower-sapping Glen Helen track. It feels as if they shifted the power up higher in the rev range, Garvin said. It doesn't come off the bottom as hard, but it will still wheelie in taller gears. That would make sense as Yamaha fitted the 2018 YZ450F's fuel-injected DOHC engine with new intake and exhaust cams that feature higher lift profiles, which lift the intake valves 0.5 mm and the exhaust valves 0.4 mm farther of their seats to draw in more air. Both feature more duration, and there is also more valve overlap, the amount of time that both intake and the exhaust valves remain open simultaneously. The increased overlap also favors high RPM power, as the exiting exhaust gases effectively help to draw in the incoming fuel charge.